Now you've had a few days to reflect on it, knocked out the trophy. How do you reflect on it?
Disappointed with losing the game. Reflections would be first half, there's not a lot in it. Second half, they stepped on and were a bit more progressive with the ball, and we at times were a little deep, which allowed them to control the game, certainly second half. So yeah, massively, but as always we're disappointed, but we move on. We can't dwell on it. We've got to look forward to Saturday and how we look to get 3 points.
And on the game last Saturday, Joe Thomas went down. Was it a rib injury?
Yeah, ribs. Well, I mean, when you watch it back in slow mo, it's brutal. He gets pushed into a blocker who catches him off balance, and it's nasty, really. So he's not trained all week. We'll see how he is tomorrow. I think Tristan called it pain management. So diminishing the pain with painkillers to get to a point where he feels comfortable to train and play. So we'll reevaluate that tomorrow morning.
And that's another defender out injured. How are you sort of dealing with that?
Well, we've got to find a solution, haven't we? So yeah, we'll adapt. We've got. We'll look at what we've got. We've spent some time since Tuesday preparing for the weekend, and we'll adapt, and we'll look at ensuring tomorrow. Tomorrow will give us a better indication, I guess. Anyway, based around gives people an extra 24 hours to be fresh, to reevaluate whether they're available and fit for selection. May well even be Saturday morning before the game that we look at one or two, just to give them as best possible opportunity to be fit, and then we select a team which we feel can get the result at Shrewsbury on the weekend.
And with all the defenders out, you've not scored a goal from a corner so far this season. Do you think they're linked? You don't have.
I don't know if they're linked. There's been a couple of moments where for the amount of time we spend on them. Which is, they're important, aren't they? The percentage of goals that comes from them. I feel as though we've been. You look at the first contacts we've had in the box on a number of occasions. I mean, Cameron Evans scored against Gillingham from the corner, which was almost second phase, but still equally. So I guess from there. We know that we've been a threat, and at times we've not always been the biggest. So if you contrast that with Walsall on the weekend, the physical threats they possess, the delivery in the box, we feel as though certainly in the FA Cup game, you think about the sequence of corners in the lead up to the goal. First corner, second throw in, first corner, second corner, we keep it alive. And get the goal. So we always work on trying to be. If we're not the biggest at set plays, we've got to try and be innovative, which is what we've always tried to do to try and gain an advantage. And we'll maybe be the same on Saturday.
And you mentioned that Walsall game; they scored a couple from set pieces. Is that just because they're so much bigger, more physical, or is it deeper problem? Do you think?
Well. We've conceded at set plays, haven't we? So when you look at the fourth goal last week, we have to be better in how we deal with it, which we went through with the guys on Monday. There's some detail in there we don't get as right as correct as we need to, and we get punished for it. Yes. Of course, the physical side is a huge part of it. We know that. There's been times we've dealt with it really well. There's been times we haven't. So yeah, it's a work in progress.
And it feels like another huge 6 point on Saturday again. Is that the feeling behind the scenes as well?
Well, when you're looking up, they are always going to be, aren't they? so we're aware of what it means. We'll be well supported, which is terrific for everybody, and we're clear that we will be well prepared. We will go with every intent to ensure that we reward the supporters who are travelling up.
And pre-match, it sort of feels like a very similar scenario to the Harrogate game. You went away, and Accrington, you went away. Is that sort of giving you confidence? You know the team have got it.
Yeah, I'm always optimistic when we get to game day that we're going to put a performance in to help us be successful. We'll not change. We'll set our stall out to be difficult to play against, and we'll look at areas that we feel we can hurt them. And so it's an important game for them as well. Where they've come from, and their budget will be significantly further in front than where we are. So there's also an expectation on them as well. We'll go there with our own look at making sure the focus is on ourselves, and we'll look to get a positive performance and look for that to lead into a victory.
And like you say, when you're looking up at every team, every game's a big game. How do you deal with that personally, sort of every game feeling so huge?
Well, it's almost there's a point where the pressure and expectation it comes with what you do and the job. It comes as a privilege because we know how fortunate we are to work here and in professional sport. How do you deal with it? The same as we deal with the players. We're consistent in our messages. We're consistent in our thoughts. That won't change. When we've performed well and won, we're not climbing the ceiling. When we've been beaten, we're trying to be methodical in analysing why it's happened and what we need to do to ensure it doesn't happen again. And we know that the players will continue to give everything that they have for the club and for the supporters, and that won't change.
And have you had any talks with the chairman about specifically what he's expecting Saturday? Is he?
Not about what he's expecting Saturday. His expectations will be the same every week. It's how we perform, and we need to win.
And what are those expectations?
Well, the expectations are that we need to perform and play a particular way, and we need to win. Those are the expectations, aren't they? And at the minute, we're clearly not hitting those expectations because we're not winning. That's the nature of where we are in the table, isn't it?
And on Tuesday after the EFL Trophy game, I think you said many managers wouldn't have been given this many games to lose. But why do you think you've been given that time?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can give you a real solid response, if I'm honest. All I know is that the staff and myself are doing everything within our capabilities to work with the players. And I'm sure, I don't know, but I think if you spoke to the players, they'd equally be as accepting that we are doing everything we can to equip them to win games with the work that's done on the grass, away from the grass. I'm not sure. That may be a question for you to ask the chairman, but all we can do is focus on what's in front of us. I said to you before, I can't spend time. There's enough time and energy that we spend on trying to look at areas to win games. I can't spend that time concerning myself with what may happen, if results continue, because that takes your energy away and your focus away from what the job is, which is to work with the players that we've got.
And you feel like with the players that you've got and the staff you've got what it takes to not go down this year? Well,
we believe so. Yeah. What there's only on the outside. There's only one thing that will reinforce that, and that's points on the board. there's a number of clubs down the bottom end with similar points totals, and what we have to do is claw them in, and with points claw ourselves away from it. We're aware of the challenges. We're aware of, I think, reflecting on where we finished, the team finished last year. How we try and build on that is crucial. So we're aware of the challenge. I think, if we're honest, we would have been from the start of everybody's expectations on the outside. But that's something we've tried to block out and focus on ourselves, focus on what we've got, and try and equip the players with the awareness of what they need to do to exploit the opposition on Saturday and try and get 3 points.
Thank you. Is it too soon in the season to call it last week?
I think so. Yeah, for me it is. You look at the points still left to play for. I think so. We know what a result can do for confidence, for morale, for everybody. So we're aware of that. But I certainly think it is at this moment in time. I'd understand why people would say it is, for sure. But we're only going, it's one game at a time, making sure that we've got everybody available for it, that can help us. So yeah, I believe it is at this moment in time. It might, there's a number of clubs, so when I listen to post-match messages sometimes from previous managers that we've played, and you think, they look at Newport coming into town as, I would just get back on track with it. So that's definitely not what I'm saying about Shrewsbury, but that's been the message from previous games, and so we want to prove people wrong. That's what we want to do.
Yeah. And if you do get a win, you're definitely off the bottom of the table. That's a big psychological.
Yeah, of course, and the players deserve. They deserve it. You don't get what you deserve in this game, but the way they've gone about everything has been a credit. They've been a credit to themselves as individuals, a credit for everything they're trying to do and the way they're trying to go about it. I could not be more proud of the effort and application that's going in. And people might say, is that enough? Well, it's the benchmark, that's the bare minimum, and I think sometimes you watch players and the body language isn't right, and their arms are up in the air, and it's an indicator of thoughts and feelings. You're almost acting out what's going on inside. That's never been what I felt from the group, and that's what gives us belief that we can get points on the board.
We spoke about Joe's injury. I know Habib got knocked in the arm on Tuesday, and Tom.
Yeah.
In the warm-up, how are they looking for?
They're okay. Yeah, okay. Habib had a scan yesterday, so optimistic for Saturday. Tom probably just going to let him settle down a little bit, maybe till Monday.
And James Clark is available. He was on the bench.
Yeah, James available. Yeah, Clark is available.
So got a few more numbers.
Yeah, starting to come back. Speller's got 20 minutes as well on Tuesday, which is positive for him. Matt Smith, hopefully, we believe will be back on the grass in the not too distant future. So that's great for everybody as well.
Yeah. And Liam Shepard's been out for a while as well. How's he?
Yeah, we hope Shep will be back. Hope, I say hope based around managing. It's a challenge because the pitches are really heavy at the minute based around the weather and we've had. So we're trying to ensure that when the injured boys are on the grass, that you're trying to manage what they do while also understand that there's an impact from the weather and the pitches. So that sometimes, particularly for Sheppy, we believe he'll be back for the end of the month.
Boost. I'm going to ask about the fans as well. I think you sold out the allocation. Do you know how many fans are going on?
Last I got told there was about 700.
Yeah, it's like incredible sport.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to say it again. Every club is always about the fans and the players. And the fans have been amazing, and we will give everything we got, and they know we will on Saturday. That there won't be one player in the squad on Saturday who isn't prepared to give absolutely everything for the supporters. and that gives everybody, staff, the players themselves, and should give supporters comfort knowing that everybody is doing everything they can to get 3 points.
And just finally, Kai won't be available.
No,
it's a big loss.
Kai's a great lad. Got some important goals, and has continued to progress his game as he continues his own journey. Really pleased with him. He'll be a miss. He's got an infectious enthusiasm and personality around the players. One of the areas for him to progress is needless bookings. We've had that conversation with him. There's times that's part of his game. He likes getting into contact with people and putting people under pressure. So we'll look at a solution being slightly different without him on the weekend. And disappointing for him, but that provides opportunity for somebody else. So it's for somebody else now to step up and take that.
Cameron missed the other night as well. Has he recovered?
Cameron Antwi, we were just, I think I said we were concerned about. He had a bit of swelling on his knee on the Saturday. So I trained this morning. We'll just look at making sure tomorrow there's no reaction to that.
Great.
You referenced the physicality of Walsall and the strength of teams in the league and their physicality. How are you handling that as a young side?
Well, we've adapted changed our set plays to being part zonal, part man for man, part blockers, covering areas of the pitch. What that does when you have X amount of numbers in zonal areas, it leaves other areas as exposed. You can't cover everything, so we're always trying to, there's a trade-off piece where if you've got 5 in a zone, you're leaving the edge of the box free. That's a challenge. If you have less in the zone and you cover the edge of the box, then you're leaving the 6-yard box free. So, and then you're trying to work out actually where's the strength of, continually evaluate the strength of the players, strength of, when I say strength of players, where do they thrive? Are they better in a zone? Are they better blocking? And equally, you're always trying to inform the guys around what good blocking looks like, what attacking zones looks like. You're trying to negate physicality and strength and power with trying to put players in areas where you believe they can excel. And let's use Aidan Flint last week for Walsall. You're trying to put a blocker on him to ensure he doesn't get a free run, while aware of the areas they would look to exploit. Hence, Joe gets blocked. So while you're trying to block the centre back last week, one of your blockers is getting blocked, which frees him up, and the delivery is really good. So it's it can be quite complex. So to answer your question in a long-winded way, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. We know it's a challenge. If you look at the profile of a lot of League Two teams, set plays play a huge part, and we are continually working on them during the week, both ends of the box. You need to be creative at one end if you don't possess that physicality, and then you need to try and find a solution at the opposite end when you might not face that itself. So yeah, it's a challenge, but it's one we'll always try and attack to ensure that we find a way of preventing the space and challenges at one end and exploiting at the opposite.
And looking ahead to Shrewsbury, what test are you expecting?
Well, they've I'm sure when you look at the players that they have, they've got some experience, they've got a mix, so we know it'll be a tough. We know it's going to be tough because where both teams currently sit in the table, and I'm sure both clubs and teams and squads will see the game the same way as you've mentioned today about the importance of the game and the significance of it. So we'll expect a really tough game, and I know they'll expect the same. So it's one we're looking forward to. If you're a footballer, you want to play in games that have pressure and expectation on it, because that's where you want to thrive. And that'll be the message to the players again tomorrow.
And what's your message to the fans ahead of the game?
As I've said, be loud. We're all one club. We all want the same. We're all pushing for success. They've been amazing. at all times in backing the players, and give everything you've got. Make it loud, make it noisy. Get with the players, and understand that we'll be doing everything we can to give you a performance you can be proud of.
Thank you.